It's Carol from Red Dirt in My Soul. Welcome to another little video about living life out here on a Wyoming ranch. And today I was just going to go over, answer a couple questions that you guys had posted and share some insight into some comments, and then I'm going to show you briefly a little bit about braiding reins because a couple of you asked about that. So anyway, a couple of you, well, actually a fair amount of you had commented about my bear. And the bear was not a cutting board. It had been painted with black paint, and then I just sanded it down, and I didn't even really take it all off, and I didn't get the edges that well. I mean, I just kind of left it a lot. I mean, I sanded it enough that my wood burning would show through. And yes, the dark spot on his hind legs is where that scented oil had spilled. It smells really good, and I still haven't put anything on it to kind of see if I can draw some of that out. I was just going to put a bunch of powder on it at first and see if it would suck some of that up. But anyway, it wasn't a cutting board. It was just a decorative item for, you know, the cabin style decor. And then I had a friend say, "Ooh, that's really cool. That would make a really cool cribbage board." And I said, "Okay, do you want it?" And of course she said, "Yes." So by that time that had happened, I had even put more design on the front than what I actually had posted. So I sat there and I went, well, where am I going to put all those dots for being a cribbage board? And so the only thing I can figure out to do is I'm going to put the cribbage board peg holes on the back, because there's not enough room otherwise. And so I think what you can do is you'll hang it on the wall and you'll see that, oh, pretty bear. And then when you want to play cribbage, you take it off the wall and turn it over, and there's going to be your cribbage board. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be made with love for my friend. So I will keep you updated on that. I want to finish the front before I go ahead and get started on the back. So thanks for your interest in that. And that kind of stuff is just so fun. And I think I posted about helping my friend move her stuff. And she had a little beat up metal stool that's one leg is slightly bent, but it had a wood top on this little short stool. You know, it's like, I don't know, 2 foot high. And I was like, "Ooh, you want to get rid of that?" And she was like, "Yep, it's yours." I was like, "Cool, thank you." So I have, which is really bad because now I'm getting a backlog of things I want to wood burn and color and stuff like that. And I need to quit getting stuff. I just need to do it. And I said, you know, I would do that all day long. I could sit here and talk to you guys forever. It's not a problem. So moving on, I sat here because I was started off, I was sitting in the shade. And now, you see what's happened? You see this? Can you see my face? I'm actually, here, I'll turn you up. I'm actually under my new porch. Da-da-da-da-da. With my school bell over there. Ooh, with a spider coming down. Cool. This house has a lot of spiders. Anyway, I really love it because, you know, we have had snow already, and it did keep the snow from sliding off the roof and piling in front of my door right down there. All right, moving on. Forget this. Let's talk about braiding reins. I said before, I prefer round reins myself. They're more comfortable in my hands. When you have a horse that does this and jerks against your bit because he wants to go faster and he wants to chase the cow, and you're too big of a chicken to run down the hill and chase a cow or whatever. I think it hurts a lot more when you have a flat rein and they jerk that through your hands, because I always lace the reins through my fingers, I don't just hold them full grip like that. I kind of lace them. And so when you get a horse that likes to put the bit in his teeth and just kind of like that, I like round reins. This is a 6-strand flat braid using paracord. And I can put a link to where I buy my paracord in the description. As you can see, I've probably got half of it done. These will be approximately 8-foot reins when they're done. I started this end, and this is the end that will hold the popper. And so I braid just a little 3-strand braid, the normal braid everybody knows how to do, for just a couple of inches. And then I turn it around and I start my 6-strand braid. The leather popper will go through here and fold over, and then I will put a keeper on the popper so that it stays doubled over like that. Okay, so this is the end I usually start with, which is the end that you would hold. The end that's going to go on the bit is where I'm working right now. When I stop, whenever I stop, the hardest thing about stopping when you're braiding is figuring out where you were in your pattern. I always put these on I try and get all 3 strands like that. But I always put them on the right side so that I know when I pick it up, I haven't touched it in 2 months or a month and a half, that I don't start on this like this. This keeps me going. So once I'm going to start, I go ahead and I take those off. Now, the one thing that you do a lot when you are braiding is pull slack. And obviously that's what's caused a lot of my difficulties down here is pulling too hard. You have to be consistent, and obviously I wasn't, and so obviously that's why I have a poor product. The right hand side, you've got 3. You take the outside, the top one, and you go over, under. That will make 4 on your left side. Go ahead and kind of push that up. Now you have 2 over here. You have 4 over here. The black one's my outside right now. So it goes under, over, under, so that you have 3 back over on the right hand side again. And 3 over here. And then you have to pull your slack. And then of course you're going to pull it in the order that it is. And then one thing I kind of do like to do, okay, it's a little different looking through the lens of a camera than just right down at your hand, is when I do take this outside one, if you look at paracord, it is kind of flatter. It's not perfectly round, right? So I do take that flat, and I do kind of give it a little bit of a twist so that it bends over on the outside. And so it lays a little nicer along the outside. All right, so I've done the right side. Pull it up a little bit. Do the same thing over here. It kind of lays flat. So I take a finger on each side and I give it a little twist towards the back, because that's the way it needs to go to lay better. All right, you see that? It'll naturally kind of do that, but I kind of give it that extra little help. One more time, 6-strand flat braid. Start on the right hand, outside or up, however way you want to look at the top one. Give a little half twist towards the front. Go over, under, you can go ahead and pull your, when you first start, your trailing ends are kind of going to create a mess. But if you just pull 3 of them through, the other 3 will kind of fall into place and it will be fine. Okay, so now I've got 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the top one, the outside one, give it a little twist towards the back. Go under, over, under, like that. And then you pull. You need to pay attention to the order that when you first start that your colors are in, because if you don't, you will get a different pattern. And that would bug me. I mean, this really bugs me because it's ugly and I'm very embarrassed to show people this is what I've done. But if you start, you need to start both reins the exact same way, or you will have a tan up here and the second one, an inch away or whatever. And so you have to decide what your pattern is going to be and keep it both. I mean, otherwise it would drive me nuts. But I guess that's me.